Yeah, so who will recite? Yes, Naman Pro can recite verse.
I have memorized 14.27.
Yeah.
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्य व्ययस्य च शास्त्रस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्य कान्तिकस्य च. I am the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness.
Haribol, exactly as it is. Nice. Brahmanohim Pratishtha. I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. Yes. Thank you. Ashutosh Pro.
Yes, Prabhu. I have recited 14.27.
Yes.
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्य अमृतस्य अव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्य कान्तिकस्य च. Translation: I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal. Immortal, imperishable, eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness.
Jai Haribol. Yes, Aditya Pro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Yes, could you recite the verse?
Yeah, sure. Shall I recite 26?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Manchayo bicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan smrti daityan tan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So Krishna says, one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at one transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
Jai Haribol. Hope you have memorized and you are saying. I hope that you are not looking towards Bhagavad Gita and reciting.
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you. So next is Anurag Pro.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Brahmano hi pratistaham mritasya vyavasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya kantikasya cha. Krishna is saying his basis of the formless Brahman, the immortal and imperishable of all eternal dharma and of unending divine bliss.
Yeah. Haribol. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay. Yes, Umang Pro. Just now Umang Pro has joined. Could you memorize the verse?
Audible?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Hare Krishna.
Bro, Dandat Pranam, bro. Am I audible, bro?
Yes, yes, audible.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Bro,
Please
now,
recite. Now also audible.
Bro, actually,
Yeah. Now it's not audible. Okay, I think some internet issue. Okay, we'll start with our Bhagavad Gita. We'll have short prayers. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjanashilakaya Chakshurunvinitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Pashat Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this is one of the very important chapters, that is 3 modes of material nature, and we have completed the 18 verses of this particular chapter, beginning with and the first. I'll just give you a brief recap of the 18 verses in just short. So basically, this particular chapter started with Krishna telling about the knowledge, how the secret. He said that I want to tell you secret of all the knowledge, and then he starts telling about 3 modes of material nature. So you see that. So the first few verses, it tells about so first 2 verses, it tells about the basically the Krishna glorifies the knowledge, and then third and fourth verse it starts telling about the modes of material nature. Then we saw how goodness, passion, and ignorance, these 3 modes are there, and each mode is very wonderfully described by Lord Krishna. Even he says mode of goodness is characterized by, there are 2 words by which mode of goodness is characterized by. So these things we should by heart we should know, so that anytime we come across this, because by symptoms we can understand also which mode we are situated in. So can anyone tell the mode of goodness is characterized by which 2 qualities?
Proji, can I tell?
Yeah.
Actually, it's composed of many qualities, right? Means like truthfulness, humility, simplicity.
No, you have to tell from Bhagavad Gita. What Krishna told in the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
Yes, Ashutosh.
Prabhu, it is intelligent. Is it intelligence?
No, not intelligence.
Lot of goodness.
It comes in the beginning verses where Krishna says that mode of goodness, it comes from, there are 2 things. Then mode of passion comes from another 2 things. Mode of ignorance comes from 3 things. Or it is characterized by those particular qualities, especially. There can be many qualities, as Aditya Prabhu was telling, truthfulness and so on. But basic 2 qualities which mode of goodness is there, characterized by.
Real knowledge, is it?
Yeah.
Real knowledge, from mode of goodness comes real knowledge.
Knowledge is correct. Another?
Knowledge and renunciation.
No, not renunciation. Knowledge and
freedom from sin, happiness, knowledge.
yeah, happiness and knowledge, correct. It's happiness and knowledge. Mode of goodness is characterized by happiness and knowledge. So a person who is in mode of goodness, you see that there is some happiness in his life because he is goodness. He is not too much passionate or he is not into ignorance mode. At the same time, he is knowledgeable also, and so that is characteristics of mode of goodness. Then what about passion?
Okay.
Mode of passion.
In passion, people are always they strive towards achieving their passionate goals.
Greed comes through passion, mode of passion.
Correct. Greed
They are always striving to
greedy.
achieve something hard, which is not possible.
Yeah, greed comes, and there are unlimited desires which comes through the mode of passion.
Yeah, right.
Then third is mode of goodness. How it is characterized by 3 things are there in this.
Prabhuji, ignorance, right?
Illusion.
Yes, Naman Prabhu.
Madness, illusion, and foolishness.
Yeah, correct, exactly. Madness, foolishness, and illusion. So these are the like even all these characteristics as a
Hare
Sanskrit
Krishna
word.
bro, Hare Krishna bro. Hare Krishna bro. Hare Krishna bro.
Hare Krishna.
Who's that?
14.27. 14.27 bro.
Oh, we have already started Bhagavad Gita.
Bro, I am trying right from the beginning only. Brahmano hi
Sound is
pratishtha.
coming from behind you.
Yeah, bro. Brahmano hi pratishtha. Amritasya yasya cha satvasya cha dharmasya sukhasya kasya cha.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So, bind the pure jiva. Yes. Yeah. So, mode of goodness. So everything has a Sanskrit word also. If that you remember, no, that is very good. Like happiness and knowledge, it's like sukha and jnana. That is mode of goodness. Then mode of passion is unlimited desires and longings or greed. We say. So unlimited desires means it is basically asat, trishna sangha and karma. Trishna sangha means it is like attachment for the attained and longing for the unattained. And and the the tamaguna, like Naman Pro told all the three things. Do you know Sanskrit words, Naman Pro?
It is Pramad, Moho, and Agyan.
Pramad is madness.
Pramad is madness, Moho means illusion, and foolishness is Agyan. Agyan. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Also, it is called alasya also. Nidra,
Yeah,
alasya, pramad.
Alasya and Pramad are same thing. No?
Yeah, same thing. Correct. Moha, pramad. Correct. Moha, pramad, and agyan. These three things. So these are the three modes, how it is characterized by. And the further verses, it tells about the mode of particular three modes, and how if we die in particular mode, where we go. There are goodness mode, one goes to the upper planets, ignorance mode, one goes to the animal life, and so on. So that we saw. Then result of action in different modes we saw. Then and today's session we are going to discuss the last topic is remaining, that is verse number 19 onwards till 27. So these particular verses talk about how to transcend all these three modes of material nature, and we are going to see one very wonderful story of Brigumani, which actually emphasizes or establishes the supremacy of the Lord and how Lord is beyond all these three modes of material nature. So let us now start with the verse number 18 was over, or 19 we should start today? I think 18 was over in the last discussion, last Sunday.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, so we can start today with 19th verse. Yes, let us recite this verse. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram
Yanyam gunebhyam kartamyam
yada drashtanupashyati
yada drashtanupashyati
gunebhyascha param vetti
gunebhyascha param vetti
madhavam todigacchati.
Madhavam
madbhavam
Sodhi
gachati.
Yes, Ashutosh Prabhu can read translation.
Yes, Prabhu. Translation. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature.
Yeah, when one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, he knows the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to all these modes. He attains my spiritual nature. Yeah, basically, a person real person or a really intelligent person, he understands that whatever activities are happening in this world, whatever is going on, but the ultimate performer is the material modes of nature. Nanyam, what is it? Yeah, Nanyam Gunebhya Kartaram. That means there is no other karta except for gunas, that is three modes of material nature. So if you understand that, and you have all seen that picture also, how the three ladies who are on the top, they are moving the person according to different modes. So that actually shows that three modes of material nature are actually doing everything. And in this world, all the actions are being done by that. And last time we were discussing one more thing about the particular mode. Like if you do some activity in particular one mode, like suppose we were discussing about ignorance. Like if somebody sleeps for like he's supposed to sleep because we say power nap. It has to be some 20 minutes or maximum 30 minutes. So if somebody sleeps like that, then he understand, okay, my sleep is over. Then he gets up, and then he start doing his work. So he's in mode of goodness because he understood that I should not sleep more. So then when he gets up, he whatever activities he does, he is also very fixed, very discriminative, that what I have to do, what I don't have to do. So he's very much into that. But an ignorant person, he thinks that, oh, anyway, I'm getting some sleep. Anyway, what I'm going to do after getting up also? Let me sleep more time. And instead of 30 minutes, he becomes sleeps 1 hour, 1.5 hour in the daytime. So then later on, when he gets up, then you see that his laziness increases even more because he has done some ignorance activity. Now the ignorance will continue even the later part of the day also. So when he does anything, when somebody tells him, oh, just bring this particular thing, he says, oh, what is I am feeling it. He doesn't want to go. He just gives some reason. He says, oh, I cannot, I have this thing to do, I have that thing to do. But actually he doesn't do anything. He just gives the reason because basically he's lazy to go out and do something. So he just stays, or he has to do something, then he will just open his mobile, do something, just time pass. But he's not able to focus on any particular work, because that is the characteristics of ignorance. Like we say, foolishness, one actually wastes his time. And that is the main reason we actually get up early in the morning. So like you see, a person, he while sleeping only understand, okay, I have to get up by this particular time. Brahma Muhurta is a very good time. I should chant my rounds. I should do all spiritual activities. So then when he night only he puts alarm, everything, he gets up proper 4:30, 5 or 5:30, whatever, according to his prescribed time. He doesn't put it on snooze or something. And then when he gets up, because he has got up on his own, he has given up the comfort position into sleeping in the bed for hours, and he has come out, he is taking bath. So these are all mode of goodness activities. So the day started with mode of goodness. So you see that anything he does, even he does chanting, it will be very attentive. Then he goes for some college and all, or job, and he does some particular work, or he does some studies. That time also he is very, very focused, because from the morning only that focus thing has started. So any activity the focus is always there. That is called mode of goodness. And on the opposite side, we see that ignorance person, till the time all the entire everybody is awake in the home, till that time he is the last one to get up from the bed. And after getting up also, there is, because laziness was there, that's why he's getting up late. And after that also, then we see that some people, they just sit on the bed even after getting up. They will be on the bed sitting with the chaddar all around for half an hour at least, and they don't want to come out of bed. Then somehow, then slowly their movements will start. Then slowly they will brush, slowly different things will slow. And then he may take bath after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then do different things. And at that time, when you see the effectiveness of the first person who was in goodness, and the effectiveness of the second person, you see that the first person is very effective in whatever activities he does in the throughout the day. Whereas the second person who was lazy from the beginning, even the same activity he will do more, it will take more time for him, because he is doing in ignorance. And there is quite some lethargy because of what activities he was doing till now. So lethargy is there, and he's not able to fully focus on his work, studies, or anything, any particular activity. So we see that whatever activity, in whichever mode we do, that particular mode presides, or it takes prominence through the entire day, or even in our life also. Some people in the throughout their life, they are in ignorance only. Like especially animals, you see they are Animals, they don't have even a place to properly stay. There is no proper eating food anywhere. They just go. So there is like it's completely foolishness, madness. There is no sense of, they don't know what is the, they don't know anything apart from eating and sleeping, mating and defending. Apart from these four things, they don't know anything. So that's why it is called as animal life. But the human being is supposed to come over this. Otherwise, if human being also into these four things, then is called as no better than an animal. So it's like Narapushu. There is one verse in Mahabharata also comes. So it tells about that how this human being can also become an animal, even in human body itself, if he does not come to the mode of goodness. And of course, through the mode of goodness, one has to translate all these modes and come to the pure goodness platform, which happens only by performing spiritual practices. So this was what yeah, so material modes of nature are the cause, or they are the main performer of all the activities. So when he knows that, he is actually the real, and he has transcended the modes, actually saying. So now there are some more such qualities are going to come. So let us see one by one. In the purport, Prabhupada is saying about how one can transcend all the activities of modes of material nature by learning from the proper souls, that is by taking a spiritual master. And Prabhupada is saying the real spiritual master is Krishna. He is imparting this spiritual knowledge to Arjuna. So this is also very important, that to come to goodness or to transcend the modes, one has to approach a bona fide spiritual master. One has to take instructions from him, and one has to always uh, follow the instructions also. So in that way, he can come out of his what we say ignorant situation. That is the only way. And association is also very much matters. When we are in goodness association, we become also we also come to the mode of goodness. Like just imagine, like now all of us are discussing from Bhagavad Gita, so we are all transcended the modes. So but in case we are not there in this particular, we are not reading Gita, we are doing something else, then we are into that particular mode. So our association can also make us, or it can take us to particular mode, which so that's why we have to choose our association. Like sometimes you enter into a room and all the boys, they are reading nice books, study books. Everybody's nicely making notes. Somebody's hearing something. Somebody's reading. So everybody's engaged into something like that. And then as soon as you enter that room, you feel that, oh, everybody's reading. Let me also open my book immediately. You also go open your book and you also start reading, and you also complete some 3-4 hours at a stretch. You are able to study such long time. And on the other hand, you sometimes enter into a room where everybody is sleeping. It is in the, even in the afternoon time, there are people who sleep long time, so they are all sleeping. The entire darkness is there on the room, all the curtains, everything is closed. And then after going there, you also feel, oh, let me also sleep, I am so tired anyway, I have come from such long distance, let me also sleep for some time. And then you end up sleeping 2-3 hours. When you get up, you think that, oh, so I have lost so much of my time. So the association actually can drag us to the particular mode. So that's why one has to choose his association. Okay, text number 20. Gunaneta nitityatra
Gunanetan tityetran
dehi deha samudbhavam
dehi deha samudbhavam
janma mrityu jara dukkha
janma mrityu jara dukkha
vimukto amritam ashnute.
vimukto amritam ashnute.
Yes, Naman Prabhu. Translation.
Translation: when the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life.
Yeah, so this is the result of transcending the modes of material nature. What is that? He can become free from birth, old age, disease, and death. So birth, old age, disease, and death. So we, in our Discover Yourself sessions, we all have studied that how there are many problems in everyone's life. People are just trying to solve their problems, Like somebody is not able to walk for long, then you bring the vehicle, you start in the vehicle and go. If somebody is not able to purchase something, then you have applications where you just order and people come to your place and they deliver you the goods. So like that, different facilities are made to remove our problems of life. But even people may consider all this as a problem, but there are only 4 real problems of life which Bhagavad Gita tells, that is birth, old age, disease and death. And these 4 problems, there is only one solution, is transcending the modes of nature. There is no other solution. One may think, oh, I don't want to die. People are trying, that is also, people are trying for that problem also, but everybody is dying. We don't see any person who is alive for thousands of years. We don't see any person like that. And disease, everybody gets disease, everybody gets some or other disease. Always there are diseases. Different seasons come and we get carried away by different diseases. And old age also comes to everyone. And birth, everybody takes birth, die. So these problems keep coming. So here the Krishna is telling the solution, that when the embodied being is able to transcend these 3 modes, he can become free from this birth, old age, disease and death. That means basically he he comes out of this material world and he goes back to God. That is the main meaning. And also it is said he can enjoy nectar even in this life. That means as soon as you transcend the mode, you don't have to even wait for going to spiritual world. Even in this world only you can enjoy the nectar. So there is a wrong definition that if if you are very passionate, or if you are very in ignorance or something, it is very ignorance means basically people do all kind of intoxication and all, that is ignorance. So that can give you enjoy. People say that is like nectar. But here in Bhagavad Gita, the definition of enjoying nectar is opposite. It is said that one who transcends the modes of nature, he actually becomes, he can enjoy that nectar even in this life. And this is a real nectar. What intoxication and all, that nectar is a perverted nectar, or we can say it is just an illusion. People think they are like one of the in the when Prabhupada was preaching in the West, there were many hippies and all. They were having addicted to drugs. So they used to have drugs, and and then they have a slogan also: "Stay high forever." Stay high forever. So by taking those drugs and all. So then Prabhupada had told them that when you come to Krishna consciousness, then I think one hippie asked also what I will get. Then Prabhupada told you will stay high forever. So that's how this is actually the definition. This particular thing is actually can take you forever, because you can always stay at that particular level of happiness. Whereas other, they are just some kind of, you get some kind of things, but one actually gets addicted to that. That is not a real nectar. So here Prabhupada is telling about that. So, and Purport Prabhupada is saying, devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the sign of liberation from material entanglement. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the sign of liberation from material entanglement. And when one is freed from the influence of material nature, he enters into devotional service. Yeah. So let us see the next verse, where Arjuna is asking some question to Krishna. So till now Krishna explained about the modes, different modes, what happens by taking to different modes, where one goes and all the destination and everything, and how can transcend mode. That also Krishna just told in 19 and 20. These 2 verses Krishna also told how to transcend the modes. So now Arjuna is asking question based on Krishna's transcending the modes, this particular concept. So let us see what is that question. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna
Arjuna
Uvacha.
Uvacha.
Kairlingai Strin Gunan Etan.
Kairlingai Strin Gunan Etan.
Atito Bhavati Prabho.
Atito
Atito
Bhavati
Bhavati
Prabhu.
Prabho.
Kim Achara Katham Chaitams.
Kim
Kim
Achara
Achara Katam
Chaitams.
Chaitams.
Strin Gunan Ativartate.
Strin Gunan
Tringunan Ati Vartate.
Yes, Aditya bro. Translation.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Oh, my dear Lord, by which symptoms is Arjuna inquired, "O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior, and how does he transcend the modes of nature?"
Yeah, so Krishna told about transcending the modes of nature. So now Arjuna is want to know what are the symptoms by which one is known who is transcendental to these three modes, because I want to know the people also who are transcended. Because anything you like, you want to do anything, you always want to see the example. Okay, who is actually doing that? Is there anyone who has done it? Or if nobody is there, then how can we have a role model to go to that particular destination? So we want to know who is that person. And Arjuna has asked such kind of question many times. Whenever Krishna tells, okay, like Sthitadir Muni, that time also Arjuna asked, how does he talk? How does he walk? What are the symptoms? So he asked like that. So these are the intelligent questions that he's asking, that what are the symptoms by which one is known to be transcended the three modes? How is his behavior? And how does he transcend? So I want to know that also. So by seeing him, by seeing his example, I can also learn. So that is the thing. And Purport Prabhupada is saying Arjuna's question are very appropriate. He wants to know the symptoms of person who has transcended the modes, and so on. Unless one knows the direct means by which one can be situated always transcendentally, there is no possibility of showing the symptoms. So all these questions put by Arjuna are very important, and the Lord answers them in the next 4 verses, which comes together 22 to 25. Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha,
Prakasham cha pravrittim cha
Prakasham cha pravrittam
Pravrittim
cha
cha
mohameva cha pandava
Mameva
mohameva
cha
cha Pandava
Pandava,
Veshti sampravani
Dveshti
न
Sampravitti
द्वेष्टि
Nadveshti sampravrittani
सम्प्रवृत्तानि
anivittani kamsati
Nani
न
na
Vrittani
nivrittani
निवृत्तानि
Kshati
kankati
udasina udasino
Udasina
Udasina
Udasino
Udasino
Muryo na vichalyate
गुणैर्यो न
Guneryoga
विचार्यते
na Vichalyate
navartanta iti evam
Guna Vartanta
गुणवर्तन्त इति
Itivam
एवं
na nivrittani kamshati.
Na Nivrittani
Kamsha.
Kankati.
Okay, udasina vadasino
Udasina Vadasino
guneryo na vichalyate
Gunaryo
गुणैर्यो
na
न
Vichalyate
विचार्यते
gunavartanta iti evam
Guna Vartanta Itivam
yo avatishtanti nengate
Yo Adhishtanti Ningate
samadukha sukha swastha
Sama Dukha Sukha Swastha
सुखस्वस्थ
samadukha kanchana
Sama Lostasma
समलोष्टास्म
Kanchana
काञ्चन
tulya priya priyo dhiras
Tulya Priya
तुल्यप्रिया प्रियो
Priyodhirat
धीरस्
nindatma samstutihi
Tulya Nindatma Samstuti
तुल्यनिन्दात्मसंस्तुतिः
manapamanayostulya
Manapamana Yostulya
मनात्ममास्योस्तुल्यस्
tulyo mitrari pakshayo
Tulya
तुल्यो
Mitrari Pakshayo
मित्रारिपक्षयो
sarvarambha parityagi
Sarvarambha Parityagi
सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी
gunatita sa uchyate.
Gunatita Sa
गुणातीतः स
Uchyate.
उच्यते
In this just 4 verses, Krishna is telling the entire definition of gunatita. That means gunatit means one who has transcended all the gunas. That is gunatit. Yes, Anurag Pro, translation.
One minute, Prabhu. Uh, Prabhu. I can't see your screen, Prabhu.
Yeah, now it is.
Yes, it is. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal toward the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the mode of nature.
Yes. Yeah. So in this particular verse, it is said, he who does not hate elimination, attachment, delusion, when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering, undisturbed through all these reactions of material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental. So we see that actually it is not so easy to be neutral or transcendental when different things happen in our life. Sometimes we see that like there are a lot of achievements coming in our life, a lot of success comes, and we become very happy. We become bound by that happiness. So it's like happiness of success. We become bound by that. So we can't just take it like, it's not that we just say that, oh, it has all come by God or something. We somehow there is something feeling that, okay, I have done it, and that kind of achievement feeling comes, and then we can't be just neutral. Okay, I have got it, what to do? Everybody, we also feel happiness. So that is called one is bound by happiness. Or sometimes the distressful situation comes and one becomes very sad, morose, and he gets completely affected by that particular situation or difficulty which has come to his life. So there are different things happening in our life, and we get carried away by those particular things like happiness, distress, or here it is said about elimination, attachment, like our very near and dear one whom we are very much attached, if he is gone, if something happens to him, we also gets affected by that. Whereas we see that, and there are more things are given, like one who looks upon a lump of earth, stone, and piece of gold with an equal eye. That means sometimes one sees a gold also, and he just treated it as stone. Hey, stone is there, like a stone is there, we don't much worry that there are so many stones when we walk on the road. Just imagine if people are walking and there is gold is lying on the road. Immediately people will be snatching it, catching, and everybody will take they will try to grab as many gold as possible and put it in their bag, and that's how they will learn. They cannot be neutral. They cannot just say that, okay, it is not mine, why should I worry so much? Nobody will think like that. They will try to accumulate. And then and many others, like situated equally well in praise and blame. Sometimes we are praised, we become very proud. Oh, somebody is praising me, we feel very nice, we feel very good that, okay, somebody could understand my is able to understand my personality. And sometimes somebody blames, we become angry. How can you blame me, or how can you say something to me? Or sometimes somebody is insulting you, or dishonor comes, so we feel very bad, or we feel why this person is doing such thing, or we feel hatred towards that person. So all these things come. And sometimes a person comes whom we know, we become very happy. Oh, he's my friend, I know him. And sometimes a stranger is coming, we don't feel anything because he is a stranger, we don't know him much. So similarly, different emotions come at different parts of our life. Different exchanges happens, different emotions, neutrality, sometimes we are happy, distressed, and different reciprocation happen with different kinds of thing. But here it is said that who has transcended the modes, that person remains neutral, he remains transcendental, he does not get affected not only by distress, he does not get affected even by happiness, even by the achievement, even by the success, he does not get affected by that. So that is called a gunatita, one who has transcended the modes of material nature. So in this regard, we are going to discuss a very wonderful story of Brigumani. So how many of you have heard about this before? Brigumani testing the Lord. He has
Yes, Prabhuji, I
tested
have
the
heard.
Lord. Okay. Anybody else
Yeah.
has heard?
I have heard,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Okay. I think most of you have heard this story because Brigumani, of course, even before coming to Krishna consciousness, also many people know about this particular story. that Brigumani, he actually there was once some all the demigods and there were many sages. They were doing some yagyas, and when Narad Muni comes there and he asks that, oh, this all of you sages, why are you doing this yagya? For whose pleasure? Who is the supreme Lord for whom you are doing this? And all of them, some of them said that Lord Brahma is the supreme. Some said Lord Vishnu is the supreme, and some said Lord Shiva is the supreme. And then Narad Muni says, oh, how is it that all of you have different opinions? You don't know who is the, there cannot be multiple gods. You know, God means by definition, God is only one. It cannot be like there are 3 gods or 4 gods. If 4 gods, then we have to see there is only one person who is actually the main person of all. So in that way, there is only one God. So then they all started discussing and they couldn't arrive at any conclusion. Then they elected Brigumani, who was amongst them. And then Brigumani, they told Brigumani that you will find out who is the greatest supreme personality of Godhead. Then Brigumani took the task and then he went to first to his father, Brahma. So Lord, we all know that Lord Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is maintainer, and Shiva is destroyer. So he went to Lord Brahma first because there was a difference of opinion about these 3 personalities only. So one of these 3 is a God. So he goes to Brahma and Brigumani just goes there and Brahma becomes very happy. Oh, my son, you have come. And he starts respecting and he calls him. And Brigumani does not even, because he was testing who is Lord, so he does not even care. He just neglects Brahma. And Brahmaji understood that, oh, I am asking him, but he is not paying any attention to me. So there was some kind of anger which comes even in Brahma. And then, and that was sensed by Brigumani. And Brigumani immediately left that place. He understands that Brahma is not the supreme person. Then he goes to Kailash Parvat, where Lord Shiva was there with Parvati. And then there also same thing happens. As soon as Brigumani goes, Lord Shiva welcomes him. And he was so happy that Brigumani has come because they are brothers. Lord Shiva also comes from Brahma only. So then Lord Shiva immediately gets up from his seat and he was about to embrace Brigumani. And Brigumani says, hey, don't touch me. You are a terrible personality. You are smelling so terribly and you have so many snakes all around your body and touch me. You just get lost like that, he says. And Shiva was so angry. And you know, when Shiva becomes angry, he has a trishul. He immediately throws the trishul. But somehow Parvati was there. So Parvati stopped. He said, oh, he is your brother. Just leave him. So then Brigumani, Lord Shiva was failed in the test. Then Brigumani goes to Lord Vishnu. After going to Lord Vishnu, he goes to Lord Vishnu's abode where, like in this material world, we have Mahavishnu. So to Mahavishnu he goes. And there the Lakshmi Devi was massaging the feet of Vishnu. And Brigumani, as soon as he goes again, actually the Mahavishnu was lying on the Ananta Shesh and his eyes were also closed. So Brigumani goes and he sees Vishnu. And here, like in the first scene, if you see Brahma, he just neglected. It was just a neglect. Still Brahma became angry. Second case, you see that Brigumani spoke some words which are insulting words. And then Lord Shiva became angry. And the third, this was not a subtle neglect or just a kind of verbal some words he spoke, but he grossly he actually hit the chest of Lord Vishnu. That was like a what we say, it is like the most what he did, what activity he did with the Brahma and Shiva. It was the most offensive in that sense that he did it with Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu, as soon as there was no tinge of, oh, who is this? Let me see first who has come, who has beaten my chest or something. As soon as the beating came, he immediately started asking forgiveness. He said, oh, Brigumani, you have come. What happened? You are such a big hit it was. Maybe your legs may be paining. My chest is so hard. It's like a stone and your lotus-like feet has touched it. So then he started massaging. There is one photo also where Lord Vishnu immediately gets up. There is no like tinge of anger or anything. Nothing was there. He immediately gets up and starts massaging the feet of Brigumani. And Brigumani was so overwhelmed by this entire incident that he started crying. He said, "Oh Vishnu, you are the Supreme Lord, because who can accept such kind of insult? I am insulting you, and in this particular way, I am an offensive person. I am such a rascal, but you are such a person that you are actually Supreme Person, because you are asking forgiveness and you are massaging my feet." So by seeing that incident, Bhrigu was completely defeated, and he went to the sages and all the demigods, and he told that Lord Vishnu is the supreme personality of Godhead. There is no any doubt in this. And then immediately it was declared that okay, Lord Vishnu is the supreme. So the debate was ended. And of course the main criteria for this Lord Vishnu, who is the supreme, was one who has transcended the three modes of material nature. Like you see, Lord never comes into these three modes. He never comes into, like, any situation you see. Lord never was like into some. That's why it is said Lord is never partial. He's never like I am there with these people, not these people, or like even Pandavas, Kauravas, that thing happened. But you see, the Krishna was trying to establish dharma. Whoever took part in establishing dharma, he was with them. It was not like, and by killing the Kauravas also he liberated them. So in that way, there was no partiality on the side of Lord. So Lord was always, Lord always remains neutral. And you see, always he is smiling. He never gets affected by any particular thing. Okay, this thing has happened, or what to. He is never like, even you see Krishna's form, he is having this simple flute and he is playing. The all other demigods and everybody, they have some kind of like Durga Devi has some different weapons, and all the people have different kinds of weapons and so many things. But Krishna is a god who is just reciting peacefully, coolly, just playing his flute, and surrounded by cowherd boys, and he is just performing his pastimes. So he's not getting carried away by any of the. He's not thinking, oh, what will happen to the material world now? Let me do this. Let me do. He's not like into that anxiety or something. He has many of his energies which are doing everything in the world. So there is no anxiety or fear. Sometimes the fear is shown in Krishna in terms of, like, Yashoda Maya is taking a stick and running after the Lord. So that time Lord becomes very, Lord thinks, Lord may become fear, but that is also his pastime. So that is not actually the uh, that is all his pastime. Sometimes he becomes angry, fear, or different kinds of anarthas will be shown in Lord, but that is just a part of his pastime, so that he can enjoy that particular rasa to the fullest extent. Like Vatsalya Ras is there, he has enjoyed that by fearing Yashodamai. So in that way, different rasas he just want to reciprocate with his devotees. So that is the specialty of Lord, and that's how Lord is beyond these three modes. So that is shown in this particular. So Lord exhibits all these qualities which are explained in this particular verse 22 to 25. Now let us go to the last second verse of this chapter, verse number 26. Yes. Mam chayo vyabicharena.
Mam cha yogya vicharena.
Yes. Yeah, Prajin is there. Bhakti yogena sevate.
Yogena sevate.
5 minutes. Anything, Prajin? Saguna. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Brahma bhuyaya
Brahma bhuyaya
kalpate.
kalpate.
Yes, Sumang Pro. Can you read the translation?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Translation. Can you scroll down?
Yes.
Translation: in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes in the level of Brahman.
Yeah. So one who engages in full devotional service, and unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature. So the here comes the clue that if we are engaged always into devotional service of the Lord, devotional service of Lord means anything we do, we should connect it with the Supreme Lord. So when we are doing it for the pleasure of Lord, for the service of the Lord, then automatically we are transferring the modes. We are no more in the modes of material nature. So the last verse, 27. Brahmano hi pratishtaham.
Brahmano hi pratishthanam.
Amrutasya vyayasya cha.
Amritasya
Amritasya
yasya cha.
yasya cha
Shashvatasya cha dharmasya.
Shashvatasya cha
Shashvatasya
dharmasya.
dharmasya
Sukasya cha.
Sukhasya
Sukasya
kantikasya cha.
kantikasya cha.
Yes, Suraj Prabhu, translation.
The basis translation. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness.
Yeah. And here Krishna is saying, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. That means the impersonal, there is impersonal Brahman. And so there are some people who think impersonal Brahman, that is the all in all. But Krishna says, I am the basis of that. That means I am beyond that also, which is immortal, imperishable, eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. So in that way, Krishna is telling about his own self. So by knowing Krishna in with his such qualities and such description, one can actually overcome and transcend the three modes of material nature. So this is also part of his answer, which question which Arjuna asked for, the question which Arjuna asked. Yeah. Yes. So here Prabhupada is saying the living entity, although Brahman by nature, has the desire to lord it over material world, and due to this he falls down. In his constitutional position, a living entity is above the three modes of material nature, but association with material nature entangles him with the different modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. So by coming in the three modes, his desire to dominate in the world increases, because when he comes to this world, the modes of material nature entangles him, and then he gets the desire that okay, I should lord it over, and all that kind of mentalities keep coming in his, and all the contamination keeps coming, and then he gets fully entangled into this. So Prabhupada at the last purport is saying devotional service to the Lord is very simple. What one has to do. So Prabhupada is giving very nice, wonderful solution, practical to our life. First thing is one should always engage in the service of the Lord. One should eat the remnants of the foodstuffs offered to the deity, smell the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, see the places where the Lord has his transcendental pastimes, and chant always the transcendental vibration of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So by following such a process, one becomes completely detached from all material activities. One who can thus situate himself in the Brahma Jyoti or in different varieties of Brahman conception is equal to the personality of Godhead in quality. Also, observing the fasting days, commemorating the appearance and disappearance of the Lord and his devotees, all these things are mentioned here. And knowing about his pastimes, reciprocation of love with devotees. So in this way, we can transcend the completely detach ourselves from all the material activities. So this is the simplest way, like chanting of the holy names, hearing Krishna Katha, observing the fasting festivals, and many other. Like now, Gaur Purnima is going to come in the next week, 18th of the March. So it's a like what festival means. Generally, of course, in temple festivals are celebrated. We can visit temples nearby our centers. We can participate in the Abhishek and different kirtans which happens. Especially kirtan is like it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's what we say Sankirtan army. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always chanting, dancing, feasting, always going around in the Harinam Sankirtan. So that was the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we should also try to follow, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also incarnation by which who has given us this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Krishna comes, does his pastimes and go. But we are confused. We don't know what to do as a devotee. How should we act? Because we cannot act. We can just beg when we see Krishna's pastime. We can just pay obeisances. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes especially to show what we should do. So he comes as a devotee of the Lord, and he gives his example that how should we behave, how should we lead our life. He has done all that. He was chanting, he was preaching, he was having very wonderful association of devotees, he was serving them prasadam, he was taking prasadam from them. So there was very nice exchanges. Like in the entire Chaitanya Leela, you see there is very wonderful association, very strong. He used to his reciprocation with his spiritual master Ishwar Puri and different his god brothers and all. He was very nicely in dealings, and everything was very nicely given. And there are many lessons which we can derive from there. And even the services, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even showed that how to do services like Gundicha Marjanam. He himself was cleaning the entire Gundicha temple and cleaning. He was collecting dust and he was throwing everything. He was showing that okay, devotee of the Lord means he has to serve the Lord, he has to associate with the devotees, he has to hear the. So there is one pastime. Any of you know where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was hearing from his devotee from about Bhagavatam, and every day same pastime he was hearing. Anyone knows? Yeah, it is in Jagannath Puri, Tota Gopinath temple, where the Gadadhar Pandit, he was reciting the Dhruva story, Prahlad Maharaj story from Bhagavatam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so eager to hear these wonderful pastimes from Bhagavatam. He was not like, oh, I am God, I know everything. He was teaching us how we should be eager to hear Bhagavatam. And so hearing, reading, then chanting, services, association, everything was included in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So that's how we can see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually, it's a golden avatar in this age of Kali. It's an iron age, but golden avatar has come, which has illuminated the entire Kali Yuga by his by his pastimes and his holy name, which he has given. He has actually opened the treasure house of love of God to everyone. There is no, it is like Patra na dekhi. So there is no Patra, there is, he never saw that, okay, whether this person is not qualified, I will not give him. It was given to everyone equally. So we can pray to, we can prepare for Gaur Purnima. You can hear some lectures on Gaur Purnima. And not only Gaur Purnima, before you hear, then you can prepare your consciousness for that particular day. And that particular day you can utilize fully in absorbing into that particular services and kirtans and other things. The preparation of lectures and everything can be done before that. So according to your time and according to, you can see which lectures you like to hear and all. You can hear some sections of that Gaur Lila, Chaitanya Lila, and that's how we can prepare ourselves for Gaur Purnima. So thank you all very much for patiently hearing. So now we'll conclude our today's discussion, and the 14th chapter ends here. Next chapter is going to start 15th, and 15th chapter is also very important. It is going to tell us about spiritual world. So till now in this chapter, transcending the modes came. After transcending the modes, we have to go to spiritual world. So next chapter starts with description of the spiritual world, how there is one more world beyond this world, and how the entire description is going to come in this 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And anyone ask what is the proof of spiritual world, you get the reference verses in this particular chapter of 15. So we'll hear this, we'll start this chapter next Sunday, and we'll have further discussion. So thank you all very much for your patient hearing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.